Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Is this thing on? This fucking camera sucks. All right, today I want to talk about the importance of self speech and why it's imperative that how you speak to yourself is the type of life that you'll manifest within your life. So, with that being said, we'll get started into some key details here. Is that your body is 80% water. Now, there was a scientist in Japan that did some experiments with water where he spoke positivity over one of the bottles. We'll use this as an example. This was one cup of water, and then he had another cup of water. So, this cup of water in my hand over here, he said, I love you. Um, you know, I'm proud of you. You're the best. Uh, you're so important in my life. Just blase, 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 blah, right? Like he spoke these ultimately positive affirmations over the water. And when he viewed it under a microscope, it held these geometric shapes. Now, if you're familiar with the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio, these are mathematical equations that you find throughout life. And let me write this down on this. And all throughout nature and throughout our human body and just throughout the universe, these numbers exist, and these sacred patterns exist, right? They're in the pyramids, they're in our human body, they're in lilies, they're just in everything that is creation. That as far as consciousness and creation is concerned, it's everywhere. So, and then the other cup of water, he said, I hate you. You'll never amount to anything. You're worthless. XYZ, a lot of negative things. And then when he viewed it under a microscope, it didn't have any geometric shapes. It was all displaced. It was in disarray. You know what I'm saying? And it's sort of like if you're in an abusive relationship with somebody, it messes with your self-worth, right? Like I'll use myself as an example. My father was an alcoholic, and he was verbally abusive to me, my sister, and my mother. And for the longest time, I had a negative self-talk about myself. So regardless if people told me that I was handsome or that, you know what I'm saying, I'm excellent at what I do, drawing, whether it be fighting, whether it be whatever the case may be, I kind of always felt like I wasn't enough and that I had to do more to to I won't say seek validation, but I felt like I had to do more to feel validated in the spaces that I was occupying at the time, until I, went through my traumatic experiences being shot at 18 and having the colostomy bag and peeing in a bag for a month. Though that downtime allowed me to do a lot of self-reflecting and a lot of research on just the human psyche, and it led me down a path to where I came across that Dr. Yamamoto. I may be butchering his name, but I'll put a link in the description when I find it. And it talked about how he did these experiments with water, and all these profound things that happened. So what I started to do was, well, first, what happened was I'm like, if speaking positive over water gives it these highly geometric shapes and you know that you see in quantum physics, or that you just see within nature, that are like highly esoteric and like high information, you know what I'm saying? Like highly tapped in the spirit or highly tapped into whatever, however you want to view it as such. It was just like a higher form of consciousness or thinking. I started to implement these things into my own life. Like I would draw my water bottles, right? I don't know if you can see it well, but speak life, self love is the best love. And just little things like that to help structure the water because, it is sitting in plastic bottles and the water is stagnant. If you getting it from the pipes of your house, it has lots of chemicals in it. So just just doing little things where I can manifest and taking control of of this vehicle and how I just moving with intention, right? Like intently moving with my thoughts and and acting upon them too. You're right, because again, like I said, a lot of the water we get's not structured. We come from traumatic past. We may have not worked through our traumas, and you know what I'm saying. We replay scenarios throughout our lives to learn a lesson. So I guess with this video that I'm making, I'm putting the lessons out there for the next generation so they don't have to work as hard as I did, right? Because I did a lot of this stuff on my own. I didn't have no, I guess I've always had my spiritual guides with me, walking with me, not physically, but always with me. But I'm I feel like I've been called to physically lay some groundwork out for the next generation so where they don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. So again, a few of the things that I started to do, and I'm not condoning tattoos now, but our bodies are 80% water. So I would write on my body. This was my first tattoo, blessed, right? I wanted to always remind myself that I'm blessed, right? That I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for the situations that I've been through. They help build my character and build me who I am today. If that makes sense. So I definitely have changed how I speak to myself and how I speak to others because I mean, if you like, whether what religion you follow, they always tell you in the beginning there was the word, and the word is a vibration, right? Your sound is a vibration, and it carries information, and it carries either life or it can carry destruction in the tongue. So how you speak to yourself is, I guess, I won't say everything, but it's everything, right? Because if a child tells themselves, I can't do something, then 9 times out of 10, they won't take the necessary steps to even begin to try at something, right? They stop themselves before they do it. So, same goes with an adult, right? If you tell yourself that you won't be successful, then 9 times out of 10, you are absolutely correct. You will manifest something in your life that will stop you from being successful. You will self sabotage. So, you have to be mindful of how you speak to yourself, how you carry yourself, and the energies that you allow yourself to be around, because those obviously have an effect on you too. How other people speak over your life is important too. So if you're around negative people, then 9 times out of 10, you may be manifesting some negativity within your life too, because you haven't set up those boundaries to where you're like, all right, listen, this is, I love you, right? Because you don't want to, hate is a low frequency, and you don't ever want to pull yourself into a low frequency, right? You always want to choose to vibe as high as possible, right? To carry that unconditional love for everyone and everything. So it's not that you hate these individuals for being negative, but it's it's being able to separate yourself for your highest good, right? Because ultimately we're all here on our own paths, and they may want to be in that low frequency. You know what I'm saying? Like everything in life needs balance, right? So If I'm vibing high, there's going to be somebody that's here, right? We all can't be on the same high vibrational page. So one person here, and the other person that will be there to keep that balance. So I guess with that being said, affirmations are extremely important if you want to switch that negative mindset to a positive mindset, right? Because if we're waking up, oh, woe is me, oh, this bill, or oh, I got to get this done, and oh, it's just too stressful, you'll start to retract within, and then you know what I'm saying, those negative affirmations that you're saying over yourself, oh, this is too hard, or this is too difficult, a lot of that stuff will start to manifest because that's what you're thinking, right? That's the frequency you're on, right? So what we have to do is change that frequency to one of positivity, of all right, it's a lot, but I'm built for it. I can do this. You know what I'm saying? You kind of have to be your own your own coach, if that makes sense. You have to be your own biggest fan. And I never really understood like being your own biggest fan until I had to be my own biggest fan. Like there's not gonna always be people around you to cheer you on and like, hey, 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 hey. And 9 times out of 10, the people closest to you are viewing you from a space of where your mistakes and the old versions of you, right? Like they're not with you every day seeing you trying to change and progress to be this different person, right? Like ultimately they're judging you off of past experiences and the old versions of you. So you can't really hold their opinions too high of yourself either, because they're going to judge you based on the old Daniel, right? Or the old version of yourself. So you have to be you have to be you have to be like bulletproof in your mind. Okay, like super bulletproof. Like you have to put on that Kevlar in your brain. You have to be your biggest fan. You have to understand that these people will not always like this matrix, right? This illusionary 3D matrix that we're in is designed to try to hold you back and put you down. So you kind of have to be like that superhero, right? That puts on that bulletproof vest, that mental bulletproof vest, put on that mental positivity vest and just be like, get crazy delusional with your thoughts. Like, okay, I'm going to be successful. Like this is what we're going to do. All right, because if that negativity starts to seep in, then you'll start to act that out within your life. So again, self speech, I believe, should be number one in trying to transition your life from a negative one to a more fulfilling and more abundant and more positive life and lifestyle, right? Because it all has to tie into one. It has to be a homeostasis, right? Because if it's not able to it's not able to if you're not able to sustain it, then it's just going to fall apart, right? So speaking positive over your life, that's one tool you can use. Two, write down your positive affirmations and say them out loud to yourself. Tesla always used to talk about 3, 6, and 9. So if you could say it 3 times, if you could say it 6 times, if you could say it 9 times, make sure that you affirm it to yourself and believe deep down within your heart that this is the life that you're going to create for yourself. These are the outcomes you're going to create for yourself. And this is what we're doing. And just be bulletproof in your mind on those things, and don't be swayed in different directions, because you know what I'm saying? Misery loves company, and they'll try to get you. They'll definitely try to get you. However they can, they'll try it. So I guess that's my message for today. I guess I'm not gonna try to be on here too long, rambling and talking about whatever. But definitely the importance of believing in yourself and speaking positivity over your life should take foothold and priority in your life if you want to manifest and change your timeline from a negative one to a positive one. This is Danielson Fitness. If you need help building self-esteem, if you need self-defense, if you need weight loss or any tips like that, I'm here. You could reach out to me on my website, www.danielsonfitness.com. You can reach me on IG, same thing, Danielson Fitness. We're here on YouTube, Danielson Fitness. If this video resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe. Definitely share this message with somebody who needs to hear it. Much love. Have a blessed day.